Hi, lovely and darling viewers. It's Jen here at Check Her Joy, and I'm doing another Top 5 Wednesday. As always, the Goodreads group is in the description below if you want to check that out. And this week's topic is books that don't have romance in them. Actually, I think this was last week's topic, but 4th of July, vacation, we're doing it this week. And it was actually really hard to find books that have absolutely no romance in them whatsoever. So these are books where romance is not the main plot point. It's not the driving force. It's not even like the secondary or thirdary plot line. It was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, especially when I narrowed it down to I wasn't going to pick children's books and I wasn't going to pick nonfiction. Okay, my first pick is the Jughead Comics. These are from 2015 on. The writing is by Chip Zdarsky and art is by Erica Henderson. And these follow Archie's best friend, Jughead, who is an asexual aromantic. There are still romances and relationships happening around him as his friends are in them, but Jughead is not. So I love that about these. I love how Jughead sees the world and he's completely unburdened by trying to find romance and mostly just daydreams about food, which I love about it. And I'm glad that Jughead is here and he has his own comics and that's has representation. And then we have representation for asexual aromantics because it's necessary. But mostly these are fun. The next book on my list is A Study in Scarlet by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. This is the first Sherlock Holmes novel. And so we first introduced to Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson and Lestrade. And I love this entire world. And this book in particular, there is no romance with either Sherlock Holmes or Dr. Watson yet. So this book is like the perfect starting point if you've never read Sherlock Holmes before. And in this one, we have a woman dressed all in red who is murdered. And she leaves the word rock, Rache, written on the ground. And they try to figure out what caused her death and what that clue means. And I just love the Sherlock Holmes novels. They're adorable. So no romance in this one, I don't think, unless it's involved in the mystery part. It's been a while, I'm not gonna lie. So I've also picked Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. This one follows Ender Wiggin as he goes to school on the spaceship, and it's a military school, and it happens in space, which is my favorite part about it. And we get to watch Ender grow up from the time that he's, I think, 5 to a teenager, but there's like no romance with him, mostly because he's a child, which I love. Just like him learning. I just love like this book and the way it's set up, and the school and the friends he has, and the training exercises, and trying to like logically think out how I would react in that situation and how I would solve these problems that he has. Most of the non-romantic parts of this are because Ender's so young. The rest of the Ender's Game series doesn't always keep that thread, but this book could totally be read as a standalone, which is pretty much what I've done. I've also picked Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. This one focuses on John Hammond's Jurassic Park, which is this part zoo, part theme park, where the main attraction is genetically engineered dinosaurs. There might be a little bit of romance in here. I honestly can't remember with like Dr. Sadler. But if there is, it's not the main point of this book. Mostly it's about survival. As things go wrong on the island and the dinosaurs get loose and the people are trying to survive and the dinosaurs are also trying to survive. I love the dinosaurs in this book. Yeah. And my final pick is Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. It was actually the first book that I thought of when I saw this topic. So Jim Hawkins finds a treasure map, and then he manages to get a crew together to go looking for it, and they meet pirates along the way, and I just love the adventure, like being on the sea and trying to follow the clues, and who do you trust? And it has the infamous Long John Silver in here, and I really love this book, guys. Like, I've read it so many times that I actually wore out my childhood copy of this. So I love pirates. Okay, so Treasure Island. So part of this book is the fact that Jim is young, so he doesn't have romantic interest yet, and also the fact that it's mostly men on the ship, to be fair, so not romance, especially the time period that this was written. So those were my top 5 picks for books that don't have a strong romance in them. Don't think any of them have any major romances in them, but I might be wrong. It's been a while since I read a few of these. So let me know in the comments below if you have any picks that would fit this list, or if you agree or disagree with any of the books that I picked. And yeah, peace out. I love you guys, and keep reading. Bye.